Hi friends, this is my in-depth tutorial of our Catio. I'm going to walk you through our planning and building stages of this Catio for our pets. So these are the plans I drew in Procreate ahead of time. This is the front door and this is the side. As you can see, we're planning on building a few more shelves than we ended up building. And this is the access panel. I don't have plans for the ceiling, but it's basically this without the 3 extra pieces making an access hole. So to start, we cut down the 10-foot PVC sections into 4-foot and 6-foot sections just to get it into our truck and get it to the campsite. On site, as you can see, we planned out our pieces and we cut those 4-foot sections down into 3-foot sections. I didn't want it any bigger than this just so we could more easily get it into the RV when we moved from place to place. And here we are making sure it doesn't hit the awning at all. Always important to make sure it works with your RV, your travel trailer, whatever you have. These can definitely be customized and adjusted as needed. I would also recommend, if you are moving a lot, to make sure it'll fit through the door. One thing we did not account for was that all the T connectors and corner connectors that we have add an inch each. So when you are cutting your PVC down, if you want it to be 6 foot by 3 foot like we did, you want to cut down a few extra inches. This is the end of day 1. We got it framed out and netting. That's going to be our access panel. It's going to connect there. And then this is our door over here. We have some hinges for it. And this is day 2. I do have all the items we used linked in my Amazon storefront, and the link is down in the description box below. And the PVC and elbows and T connectors are all purchased from Lowe's. We used 1-inch PVC. A 10-foot pipe is about $6.50. The corner connects are a little less than $1, and the T connectors are a little more than $1, about $1.30. So you can kind of get an estimate on how big or how expensive your build will be based off of your plans. I would highly recommend this PVC cutter you see us using throughout the video. It definitely speeds things up, and it is also linked in my Amazon storefront. So here we moved inside because this is day 2 and it was getting quite cold and windy outside, and John went outside to dry fit every piece. You'll see us doing that throughout the whole process. We are making sure the pieces work well together. This is our ceiling piece. This piece is very important because it helps stabilize the entire frame, as well as making sure the cats can't jump out the top, because cats will do that. We connected all of the garden netting with zip ties. We went about every 8 to 10 little holes that are in the netting just to make sure there were no spaces big enough for the cats to slip through. I will link every item we purchased through Amazon and through Lowe's in the description box below, so you guys can go check it out there. Here we are attaching the sides and the top through metal brackets. We roughly held it together with zip ties the first few days while we figured out what we wanted to use, and I will have a close-up of that item here in just a minute so you can see how we attach it. With a screwdriver bit, it really only takes a few minutes, so in the future it won't take us 3 days to make this. We'll have all our sections set up, and it should take about 20 to 30 minutes to assemble and get it ready to go as we get to our new campsite. And just when you thought we were done zip tying, we are not. There are more zip ties, and after we attach every single one, I go through and cut off all the little extra length, because while I don't think the cats will chew through this netting, I don't really want to offer them any incentives to try either. So I try to make it as snug and as tight as possible. And here we are on day 3 of our build. It was the coldest day, and peak or peep, I am not sure, the fit. The previous day, the winds and the rain were so bad, we did not leave the RV. We could not go outside, so we did not work on the Catio at all. So it was staked down to the ground so it wouldn't blow away, and it held up fairly well. The shelving framing is inside, so that way it would sit flatter. We weren't sure how it would hold up in the winds, so we just wanted to be extra cautious this first time. And you can see we can maneuver this thing around. We can flip it around as we need to, especially with the ceiling tile on. It was very sturdy, and this is me helping John thread through the last few zip ties. We realized we had missed a section. Thank God we don't have to zip tie it this much every single time. All right, and this is the fully assembled Catio. We are going to attach it to the RV through this door right here. We left an opening right here and we bought some clamps so they'll be able to access. And now we're gonna go in and create a cat door into this tunnel. And this is a close-up of our bracket we used. You can either use a flathead to screw it tight, or we think about a 6mm socket. We haven't measured it. Now that the framing is done, we head inside to give the kitties access. Here you can see we trace out the cat door and we drill some pilot holes for our skill saw to go through, and we double check the width. There was more space between our room and the storage area than we thought. That's where it's gonna come through down here. Okay, so we have to move it over because it's a support stud, so John's on it. It's hard to see from here, but that is the saw cutting through the carpet, and you can see we had to move it over about 2 or 3 inches just to avoid that support stud. Safety first, kids. John knew I was holding that tight with my foot, and I knew where the saw was going to be and exactly where he was cutting. Open lines of communication this whole time. And there we go. After this, we just followed the instructions the cat door came with for installing it. But before we give them access to this, I wanted to make sure they didn't have access to the whole storage space underneath, which we call our chamber of secrets. We use half of it to store the sewer, black water, gray water cleanouts, and the hose, so we definitely don't want them to get over there. So what we're building here is a little divide that will fit out into that space. Again, this is where we realized that those corner pieces add about 1 inch, and we really had to cut this down several times to get it right. But we got it, and John's getting it into place, and we are going to secure it with some brackets that we just screwed into the floor and the ceiling. So the total cost of everything was about $560. That included all the netting, the PVC, the cat door, and all the tools that we needed to build it. You could probably do something cheaper, but we couldn't do all of this and make it portable. The ones that were available online were meant to be built and put in place. Okay, this is it. We need to go get some clamps. We're losing sunlight, so the cats may not get into it this trip, but it is ready to go for next time. It's also miserable outside, so I don't know if they would even want to come out here. So, in there. That way we can still use this divide here, so we can use that side for storage still. That's the little kitty door. And we have 3 shelves, which we'll make tonight. That'll go here, here, and here to give them some height. And I'll put an outdoor rug under here that's going to be staked down. We have stakes to hold everything down, hey, so that it'll all stay down, and we need to get some more clamps. We have this one, but the ones we bought are too small, so we need to get 3 more just to make sure that it's nice and secured to the RV. But there we are. I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.